Welcome back to the Mental Improvement channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most exciting discoveries in neuroscience, neuroplasticity. For years, people believed our brains were fixed after childhood, but science now shows that your brain can change, adapt, and rewire itself at any age. This means you're not stuck with the habits, thoughts, or limitations you have right now. Over the next 20 minutes, we'll explore what neuroplasticity is, how it works, and most importantly, how you can use it to transform your life. Whether you want to break bad habits, learn new skills, or boost your confidence, this is the science that makes it possible. Let's get started. Let's start with the basics. Neuroplasticity, also known as brain plasticity, is your brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout your life. Imagine your brain as a network of billions of neurons communicating through pathways called synapses. Every thought, action, or skill you practice strengthens specific neural pathways. The revolutionary part: these pathways aren't fixed, they can change. When you repeat a thought or behavior, you strengthen that pathway, making it faster and more automatic. When you stop using a pathway, it weakens. And when you learn something new, you create entirely new pathways. This is the foundation for changing habits and learning new things. You might have heard the phrase, neurons that fire together, wire together. This means that when you repeatedly think a thought or perform an action, the neurons involved in that process become more strongly connected. For example, when you first learned to tie your shoes, it took a lot of concentration. But now you can do it without thinking. That's because repetition has strengthened those neural pathways, making the behavior automatic. This same process applies to your thoughts, emotions, habits, and even your beliefs about yourself. All of them are built on neural pathways that can be changed with practice and intention. Before we understood neuroplasticity, many people believed their struggles, like anxiety, depression, or low self-esteem, were permanent. They thought, this is just who I am. But neuroplasticity proves that's not true. You absolutely can change your thought patterns, emotional responses, and habits. The brain you have today isn't the brain you're stuck with forever. You have the power to reshape your mind, and that's a game changer for personal growth. This understanding gives hope and opens up new possibilities for anyone who wants to improve their life. So how does neuroplasticity actually work? There are several key mechanisms that make it possible. First, synaptic plasticity. This is the strengthening or weakening of connections between neurons. When you repeatedly activate a neural pathway by practicing a skill or thinking a thought, the synapses in that pathway become stronger and more efficient. It's like walking the same path in a forest. The more you walk it, the clearer it becomes. This is why practice and repetition are so important for learning and change. Synaptic plasticity is all about the connections between neurons. When you practice something, whether it's a skill, a thought, or a behavior, you're strengthening the synapses that support it. Over time, these connections become more efficient, making the behavior or thought more automatic. This is why habits, both good and bad, can feel so ingrained. But the good news is, with enough repetition, you can build new habits and weaken old ones. Your brain is always adapting to what you do most. For a long time, scientists thought you were born with all the brain cells you'd ever have. But research now shows that your brain can actually create new neurons throughout your life, especially in the hippocampus, which is involved in learning and memory. This process is called neurogenesis. Activities like exercise, learning new things, getting quality sleep, managing stress, and eating foods rich in omega-3s can all promote neurogenesis. This means you're literally capable of growing new brain cells to support new skills and abilities. Structural plasticity refers to actual physical changes in your brain's structure. Brain regions can grow or shrink depending on how much you use them. A famous example comes from London taxi drivers, whose hippocampus, the area responsible for spatial navigation, was found to be larger than average. This happened because they spent years navigating complex city streets, constantly using that part of their brain. The parts of your brain you use most get stronger, while the ones you neglect weaken. Your brain literally becomes what you repeatedly think and do. Synaptic pruning is your brain's way of becoming more efficient. It eliminates neural connections that aren't being used, much like cleaning out a closet. You keep what you use and get rid of what you don't. This process is crucial for breaking bad habits or changing negative thought patterns. When you stop engaging with a thought or behavior, those pathways weaken and eventually get pruned away. That's why replacing an old habit with a new one is more effective than just trying to stop the old habit. Now that you know the science, let's talk about why this matters for your life. First, you're not stuck with the brain you have. If you struggle with anxiety, depression, negative self-talk, or poor focus, these aren't permanent. They're patterns, neural pathways that can be changed. Neuroplasticity means change is possible, even if it takes time and repetition. This realization is empowering and can help you approach personal growth with hope and determination. Your habits, both good and bad, are simply neural pathways that can be rewired. That habit of checking your phone first thing in the morning, neural pathway. Stress eating when you're anxious, neural pathway. Automatic negative thoughts, neural pathway. None of these are permanent. With intentional practice, you can weaken old pathways and build new, healthier ones. This is the foundation for lasting change in your daily life. You can learn new skills at any age. The old saying, "you can't teach an old dog new tricks," doesn't apply to humans. While neuroplasticity is strongest in childhood, it never stops completely. You can learn a new language at 60, develop emotional intelligence at 40, or build cognitive skills at 70. Age is not the limiting factor you might think it is. Your brain remains adaptable and capable of growth throughout your life. Your thoughts don't just affect your mood, they literally shape the physical structure of your brain. If you spend years thinking, "I'm not good enough," you're strengthening those neural pathways. But if you intentionally practice positive thoughts like "I'm capable and worthy," you can build new, healthier pathways. Over time, these new patterns can become just as strong as the old ones. Your mind is not just experiencing your thoughts, it's being shaped by them. You have far more control over your mental health and well-being than you've been taught. This isn't about ignoring real problems. Sometimes professional help is needed, but neuroplasticity gives you agency. You can actively participate in rewiring your brain for better mental health. Therapy, meditation, and personal development all work because they help you build new neural pathways. You're not powerless, you can shape your own mind. So how do you actually use neuroplasticity to create change in your life? There are several science-backed strategies you can start using today. The first is deliberate practice and repetition. To build a new neural pathway, you have to activate it repeatedly. Whether you want to build confidence, reduce anxiety, or develop gratitude, the key is consistent, daily practice. Your brain cares more about consistency than the size of the action. Even 5 minutes a day can make a difference over time. Deliberate practice means choosing one specific thought pattern or behavior to change and practicing the new version every day. It doesn't have to be a huge effort. Small, consistent actions are what matter. Over weeks and months, this repetition rewires your brain, making the new pattern stronger and more automatic. Remember, your brain doesn't care about the size of the change, only the consistency. Start small and build momentum. Neuroplasticity is strongest when you're paying attention. When you're on autopilot, you reinforce existing patterns. But when you bring conscious awareness to your thoughts, feelings, and actions, you can direct change. Mindfulness is powerful because it helps you notice your patterns and choose what to strengthen or weaken. Practice noticing what thoughts are running through your mind, what patterns keep repeating, and what you want to change. Your brain changes most when it's challenged. Doing something new, difficult, or unfamiliar forces your brain to create new pathways. That's why learning new skills, stepping outside your comfort zone, and embracing novelty are so good for brain health. Try learning something new, taking a different route to work, or having conversations with new people. Every new experience is an opportunity for neuroplasticity. Sleep is non-negotiable for neuroplasticity. Most of your brain's rewiring happens during deep sleep, when memories are consolidated and new pathways are strengthened. If you're trying to change habits or learn new skills but aren't getting enough sleep, you're making it much harder for your brain to adapt. Protect your sleep, it's when the real rewiring happens. Chronic stress impairs neuroplasticity. High levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, can damage the hippocampus and interfere with your brain's ability to form new connections. Not all stress is bad. Short-term challenges can actually enhance learning, but ongoing chronic stress is toxic to your brain. Find stress management practices that work for you, like deep breathing, regular movement, time in nature, or social connection. Your brain doesn't always distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. Studies show that athletes who mentally rehearse their performance activate the same neural pathways as those who physically practice. This means you can use visualization to strengthen desired pathways. Visualize yourself responding calmly in stressful situations or succeeding at a challenging task. Combine visualization with real practice for maximum effect. Physical exercise is one of the most powerful ways to boost neuroplasticity. Exercise increases BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which acts like fertilizer for your brain. It promotes neurogenesis, strengthens synaptic connections, and protects against cognitive decline. Aerobic exercise like brisk walking is especially effective. You're not just building physical fitness, you're building brain fitness too. Rewiring your brain takes time. Old patterns didn't form overnight, and new ones won't either. Research suggests it can take anywhere from 18 to 254 days to form a new habit, with an average of about 66 days. You'll have setbacks and slip into old patterns sometimes, that's normal. What matters is that you keep practicing. Every time you choose the new pattern, you're strengthening those neural pathways. Be patient and compassionate with yourself as you grow. Let's quickly recap the most effective strategies for harnessing neuroplasticity. Deliberate practice and repetition, focused attention, embracing challenge and novelty, prioritizing sleep, managing stress, using visualization, moving your body, and practicing self-compassion. Each of these strategies helps you build and strengthen new neural pathways, making lasting change possible. Choose one or two to start with and build from there. Imagine what life looks like when you truly embrace neuroplasticity. You wake up knowing you're not fixed, you're always evolving. When you catch yourself in a negative thought pattern, you think, there's a neural pathway I need to rewire. When you face a challenge, you remind yourself, I can't yet, but my brain is designed to learn. Setbacks become part of the process, not failures. Every time you practice a new behavior, you're physically changing your brain. This mindset brings hope, empowerment, and a sense of agency over your own growth. The more you practice using neuroplasticity intentionally, the better you get at it. You're literally training your brain to be better at changing itself. Over time, this makes it easier to learn new skills, break old habits, and adapt to new situations. You become more resilient, confident, and open to growth. This is the life that's available to you, not someday, but right now. Your brain is ready for change whenever you are. Let's look at a real-life example. Imagine someone who struggled with public speaking anxiety. By practicing calm breathing, visualizing success, and gradually exposing themselves to speaking situations, they can rewire their brain's response. Over time, the anxiety pathway weakens, and the confidence pathway strengthens. This is neuroplasticity in action, turning fear into confidence through intentional practice. Breaking a bad habit isn't just about willpower, it's about rewiring your brain. When you stop engaging in the old behavior and replace it with a new one, you weaken the old pathway and strengthen the new one. Over time, the new habit becomes automatic. This process takes patience and consistency, but it's absolutely possible for anyone willing to put in the effort. Learning a new skill is one of the best ways to harness neuroplasticity. Whether it's playing an instrument, learning a language, or picking up a new hobby, each new challenge forces your brain to create and strengthen new pathways. The more you practice, the stronger those pathways become, making the skill feel more natural and automatic over time. Negative self-talk is just a pattern, a neural pathway that's been strengthened over time. By intentionally practicing positive self-talk, you can build new pathways and weaken the old ones. This doesn't happen overnight, but with repetition, your default thoughts can become more supportive and empowering. Remember, your brain is always listening and adapting to what you repeat. Neuroplasticity also helps with emotional regulation. By practicing mindfulness, meditation, or other calming techniques, you can strengthen the pathways that help you manage stress and emotions. Over time, you become better at staying calm under pressure and responding thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. This is a powerful way to improve your overall well-being. Confidence isn't just a personality trait, it's a neural pathway that can be built and strengthened. By practicing confident thoughts, body language, and behaviors, you can rewire your brain to feel more self-assured. The more you practice, the more natural confidence becomes. Remember, every small step counts toward building a stronger, more confident you. Transforming your thought patterns is a gradual process. Start by noticing negative or limiting thoughts, then consciously choose to replace them with more positive, empowering ones. Each time you do this, you're building new neural pathways. Over time, your brain will default to these new patterns, making positive thinking more automatic. Practicing gratitude is a powerful way to rewire your brain for positivity. By focusing daily on what you're grateful for, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with positive emotions. Over time, gratitude becomes a natural part of your mindset, helping you feel happier and more resilient in the face of challenges. Mindfulness is more than just relaxation. It's a tool for noticing and changing your patterns. By becoming aware of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, you can choose which ones to strengthen and which to let go. Mindfulness practice helps you become more intentional about how you use your brain's neuroplasticity. Let's revisit visualization. When you vividly imagine yourself succeeding, your brain activates the same pathways as if you were actually doing it. This mental rehearsal can boost your confidence, improve performance, and make new behaviors feel more natural. Combine visualization with real-world practice for the best results. Regular physical activity doesn't just benefit your body, it's essential for brain health. Exercise increases the production of BDNF, which supports the growth of new neurons and strengthens existing connections. Even moderate activity, like brisk walking, can have a significant impact on your brain's ability to adapt and grow. During sleep, your brain consolidates memories and strengthens new neural pathways. Deep sleep is especially important for this process. If you're trying to learn something new or change a habit, make sure you're getting enough quality sleep. It's one of the most effective ways to support your brain's natural ability to change. Managing stress is crucial for neuroplasticity. Chronic stress can block your brain's ability to form new connections. Techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, regular exercise, and spending time in nature can help reduce stress and support your brain's growth. Find what works best for you and make it a regular part of your routine. Remember, consistency is more important than perfection. You don't have to get it right every time. What matters is that you keep practicing, even when you slip up. Every effort counts toward building new neural pathways. Be patient with yourself and trust the process. Your brain is always working, even when you don't see immediate results. Personal growth is a journey, not a destination. Embracing neuroplasticity means accepting that you're always evolving. Setbacks are part of the process, not signs of failure. Each day is a new opportunity to practice, learn, and grow. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and keep moving forward. Change doesn't happen overnight, but every step you take rewires your brain a little more. Trust the process, even when progress feels slow. Your brain is designed to adapt and grow. With patience, practice, and self-compassion, you can create lasting change and become the person you want to be. Your brain is ready for change whenever you are. The science of neuroplasticity shows that you have the power to shape your mind, break old patterns, and build new ones. The only question is, are you ready to take the first step? Remember, you're more capable of transformation than you've ever been led to believe. As we wrap up today's deep dive into neuroplasticity, remember, change is not just possible, it's what your brain is designed to do. You have the power to rewire your mind, build new habits, and create the life you want. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Keep growing, keep learning, and trust in your brain's incredible ability to change. Thank you for being here and investing in your growth. If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a Deep Dive Thursday. Your future self will thank you for the work you're doing today. I'll see you next time for more insights and strategies to help you grow. Until then, keep learning and trust your brain's amazing ability to change.